Good afternoon and welcome to BBC News School Report. This is Dua and Devin reporting from Lampton School. In the headlines today, the search continues for missing Malaysian airliner, major improvements made to Bristol Hospital and a building burned down in Hounslow. But first, over to national news.
The £430 million Southmead Bristol Hospital has been completed. The work at Southmead Hospital and building will be handed over to North Bristol NHS Trust later. The Trust will start the process of stocking and moving equipment into the state-of-the-art Brunel building. The first patient will move in May and will fully open at the end of the month. The Brunel building will have a single room, ensuite facilities and a route to the hospital to take patients out through a private area before and after operations. Andrea Young, Chief Executive of North Bristol NHS Trust, said the hospital would be a centre of excellence. She also said today marks an important step in providing world-class facilities for our patients across Bristol, South Gloucestershire and further afield.
In other news, a numerous amount of parents have experienced a stressful standoff with their children over a plate of dinner. Vegetables like broccoli are standing in the way of everyone. However, there is a way of conquering this problem. Utilizing a certain bad eating habit could be the trick. Mindless eating is when you eat food without really registering it, and practically everyone does it. Children don't really eat fruit and vegetables unless it's given to them. Parents believe if children are encouraged to eat fruit and vegetables, it will become a natural habit. But will this really conquer the problem? Others believe education is key, and introducing children to healthy eating through cooking is a much better way to tackle this. On the BBC website, there are recipes on healthy eating. If children don't realise what they eat and how they think goes into their body, it is most likely that they would gain weight. Scientists have made a prediction saying this generation of children are most likely to gain weight due to mindless eating. And now over to international.
Due to bad weather, 8 planes suspended in their search are returning to base. However, Australian officials said ships will continue the search. Malaysian aircraft MH370 disappeared on 8 March and has now been missing for 19 days. On board the flight was 239 civilians whom are now confirmed dead. During the search for the aircraft, Thai satellites detected approximately 200 to 300 objects, which resembled plane debris, but it is not confirmed. The parts are around 3 feet to 75 feet long. Satellite imaging shows debris spread in a huge scale due to mini hurricanes coming from the South Indian Ocean. Local weather scientists soon found out the bad weather was heading towards the search zone located 1,500 miles from Perth. On Thursday night, as dawn broke, 6 military aircrafts, 5 civilian aircrafts, and 5 ships were looking for signs of the missing plane. 6 countries are now involved with the search, including New Zealand and China. Officials are still baffled as to why the plane lost contact with the air traffic controllers, but are still investigating. They have not ruled out possibilities of technical difficulties, hijacks, and actions committed by the pilot or co-pilot. The captain is in no position to fly after his wife said that he was leaving him, said a friend. Now over to Ria, Arvin and Nayad, who are interviewing Mr. Davis to find out more about proposed education changes and impact on students.
Would leaving late from school show any potential risks?
Well, of course there's always risks leaving the school site late at night, particularly in the winter, but the revision classes and any coursework catch-up never finishes later than maybe 5 o'clock. So no other risks really than there are. For example, if someone has a CDS that finishes at 4:30 in the winter time, the school site here, as you all know, is open very late into the evenings and there's lots of people around. So again, I think that's a bit of a myth that some people are saying that school is going to be finishing very late and putting people at risk. People are doing activities after school already till quite late, so There will just be the same risks as there would be if people left at the normal time.
Do you believe any changes would have an impact on Lampton School's performance tables?
There is going to be a change. The way the performance tables are going to be published is changing, particularly for your year group, and the performance is moving away from 5A star to C, including English and Maths, to looking at what we call Progress 8. So looking at the progress you make in GCSEs. So it's going to change, what we call the headline figures are going to change for every school in the country. So there will be an effect, and it will be up to the schools to inform parents and Ofsted and the other audiences that look at the performance tables of what the changes are. At Lampton, pupils make very good progress from years 7 to 11. So the measure is changing, but our progress is still strong and will still be secure.
Do you think making the exams harder will affect the grades of pupils?
It is. That nationally, there will be a decline in the number of children that attain the highest grades, and that is the intention of the government, to try and prove that the exams are harder. So again, as I said in the last question, when you're thinking about informing people about what the performance tables mean, because there's going to be a new grade structure, it's not going to be A star through to G, it's going to be numbers. It's informing people about what those numbers actually mean.
And is it fair for students already finding it hard who may have disabilities doing a test 1 year later?
Now you have to do your exams in all your subjects at the end of 2 years. So that is going to put more stress on people, and it's going to be, it's a fundamental change to the system. That's why in school we've introduced exams for your year group this year, and then more exams for year 9, so we build up and you can practice doing end of year exams just as you're going to have to do at GCSE. So as a school, we're aware of the extra pressure that's putting people under, and we're trying to help people. We're going to be training people up from year 7 all the way through to year 11 to prepare you so you can do as well as you possibly can. But it is going to be a shift in the system, and it is going to put additional pressure on certain groups of people. So as a school, we just have to make sure we support all the different groups so they can do their best.
Thanks for that report, Ria, Arvin and May. In the local news, 20 members of the Royal British Legion have escaped from the fires of the burning clubhouse in Hounslow on Saturday the 15th of March. This disastrous event was caused when the wooden building behind it caught fire and spread to the clubhouse in front. 58 firefighters turned up at the building to put out the raging flames, and took 3 hours to do so. After the flames had been extinguished, all that remained were the charred rafters that once held up the building. The damage was so extensive that it took over 4 days to make the structure safe again. 20 people were in the building when the fire broke out, one of which was Andrew McGill, head of the Hounslow branch of RBL. The people trapped inside were watching the rugby as the fires broke out around 4:30 p.m. It was the smell of the burning plastic that alerted us to the fire, McGill said. Some of our senior members were in there, and by the time we set out, the smoke was so thick that you could only see about a metre in front of you. Another minute and the interior would have been filled with smoke. The clubhouse has been around since 1979 and will be a major loss to the community. On August the 2nd, despite the damage, plans are going ahead to hold its centenary commemorations set to be centred on the unveil of a new war memorial in Hounslow High Street.
Hollywood actress Gwyneth Paltrow and Coldplay singer Chris Martin are to separate after 11 years of marriage. Gwyneth, aged 41, and Chris, aged 37, announced the split on Gwyneth's blog in a post titled "Conscious Uncoupling." "It is with heart full of sadness that we have to decide to separate," the couple wrote. Within minutes of the message being posted, the website crashed as fans of the couple attempted to visit the site. Chris met Oscar-winning Gwyneth shortly after the death of her father in late 2002. The couple married in 2003 and have 2 children, Apple, aged 9, and Moses, aged 7. After announcing on Tuesday night they had split, rumours escalated about affairs, but Gwyneth, 41, told friends, "I'm no cheat." They announced their split after Paltrow and Martin moved to Los Angeles last year, having previously lived in London.
Social media sites Facebook revealed that they have bought Oculus Rift VR company. Oculus Rift is a company which makes games and are a specialist in virtual technology. The prototype for the Oculus Rift was assembled by a 19-year-old Californian student, Palmer Lucky, from scrap parts in his garage, his parents' garage. Facebook may want to set up a gaming company aimed at vivid gamers. This has also concerned various other gaming businesses which are currently at the top of gaming market. Will Facebook and Oculus begin to compete with other sales? The deal, however, has already caused some game developers to drop out of work. On the Oculus project, Marcus Persson, who created the very popular game Minecraft, said in a blogspot that he had been working on a version of the software for the Rift headset, but was stopped development because of the Facebook deal. The incredible thing about the technology is that you feel like you're actually present in another place with other people. People who try it say it's different from anything they've ever experienced in their lives, wrote Mark Zuckerberg, CEO and founder of Facebook. Facebook also want to help Oculus build their products and develop their partnership to support more games. There are plans to make supercomputers made to fit your ears. Japanese researchers plan to capitalize on computers, and they want to develop tiny computers which you could wear on your ears, just like Bluetooth earpieces. It would be controlled by movement in your eyes and tongue, and will contain a speaker, microphone, GPS and Bluetooth connectivity, despite weighing just 17 grams. People will wear it in the same way they wear earrings, says an engineer at Hiroshima City University. The team there are testing the product just now and are close to getting to the finish. Suppose you are climbing a mountain. You would be able to find out the name of stars just above you. That's how good the company predict the product is to be. Now over to Janae, Dua and Trisha for a report on cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying is spreading like wildfire through the devices of the unwary. There have been several severe outbreaks of cyberbullying throughout London schools, says the Anti-Bullying Alliance. Children who are nerdy are increasingly being cyberbullied by people who may be jealous of their grades. Children find it difficult going through high school because the peer pressure is increasing.
The Anti-Bullying Alliance have informed social media sites that they must apply some more extreme measures to ensure that social media sites can be safe to use. Lampton School has set up an anti-bullying committee which counters the bullying, whether it's face-to-face or even over the media sites. Here we have Mr. Lawley, an ICT teacher who should know all about cyberbullying.
There are more and more cases coming up. I have my own Facebook page where I communicate with you guys on it. And sometimes you do see things that you do need to report because they might be bullying. Although we don't not dealt with it personally, there are issues of it in school, and it is dealt with in the school. And there was recently an inset training on Wednesday where everyone was learnt how to deal with those particular issues and who to go to and who to seek support from. That's okay.
Is cyberbullying a major problem at Lampton?
It's becoming an increasing problem. I think it's dealt with I think there's cases of it every single day. Mr. Davies, the deputy head, deals with cases of it every day. But it's dealt with, and it's dealt with appropriately.
Thank you. Now we're heading over to Junaid, who will be interviewing Rahul.
The school councillors in Year 8 are actively involved in this programme. Here we have Rahul, who is a councillor in AP. Rahul, have there been any incidents of cyberbullying in your time of being school councillor?
No, there have been no reports of cyberbullying in Lampton because thanks to our amazing anti-bullying workshops held during school for children to come and help and see how cyberbullying works and not to do it.
Do you think it's your role to help prevent cyberbullying in the future?
Yep, if any reports ever come up, I think since I'm a school council, it should be my job to at least help sort it out.
Okay, thank Thank you, Rahul. That was most illuminating. There are now bullying prevention hubs which give you tips on how to prevent cyberbullying occurring to you. A piece of advice given to people is a simple one. If you feel uncomfortable on social media sites, just stay away from them.
Now over to Zach for our sports stories.
Title contenders Liverpool FC get one step closer to clinching the Premier League by beating Sunderland 2-1. Captain of the club, Steven Gerrard, smashed the ball into the back of the net from a free kick 23 yards out from the goal. The referee, Kevin Friend, was criticised by fans for being no friend of Liverpool as he declined many appeals for penalties and free kicks. In the early minutes of the second half, the Brazilian magician Felipe Coutinho assisted Liverpool striker Daniel Sturridge, who curved the ball into the top left corner of the goal. Liverpool's domination came to an end as Sunderland's young player Ki Sung-yong scored from a corner whipped in by Adam Johnson, changing the score to 2-1 and getting back in the game. Since this goal was scored, Liverpool seemed a bit shaky. However, they retained the lead and won the match, gaining 3 points, which put them 1 point behind the current leaders, Chelsea. Brendan Rodgers, Liverpool's manager, was delighted with the win, but still thinks Manchester City are the title favourites. In other sporting news, it has been clear that David Moyes has not been successful so far at Manchester United. Although being privileged to take over arguably one of the most successful clubs in England, he has been responsible for one of United's worst seasons since the revamp of the Premier League. His latest loss being a 3-0 thrashing to rivals Man City. He has now lost 10 games this season, which is a new record for Manchester United since 1992. However, despite this disastrous season, Manchester United Paul Scholes believes that the Red Devils should stick with Moyes. Scholes says he is only 9 months into the job. You have to stand by him. He has also received the backing of Everton keeper Tim Howard, who believes that Moyes will prove himself in the seasons to come.
This has been Lampton School reporting for the BBC. Have a good day and thanks for watching.